Hi and welcome to the channel. Now today I just want to explain something that I've been missing from the beginning, meaning that I didn't quite understood how the camera, the Canon EosM, works with the magic lantern. So how this small camera can record internally raw, and how is the mechanism, because afterwards you understand how this the Canon EosM with the magic lantern works, you will understand why there's limits, why things are working as they are working, and what you have to do in order to take the maximum advantage of the magic lantern with the Canon EosM. So let me just start with the explanation. Here we go. We have the Canon EosM, which obviously before the magic lanterns appeared, it worked, and it's still working with the Canon proprietary software. So let's say the Canon EosM has his own Canon software, right? Right? Now, there's another software called Magic Lantern. Magic Lantern, right? So this Magic Lantern software enables the Canon paired with it enables to shoot raw, right? Now, how in fact the magic lanterns works with the Canon camera? So we have this one, right? So we have the SD card, which generally, when we are shooting with the Canon proprietary software, the SD card, it serves to stock the clips, the footages, and the image files. So there are two files that is used the SD card to stock. Now, the Magic Lantern, when we are saying that we are installing the Magic Lantern on EosM, it's not true. So it's not an installation. In fact, what we are doing is we are making a connection between the Canon software and the Magic Lantern. And why I'm telling you this? Because the Magic Lantern is, in form of, so the development and the software is in form of builds. Yes. Now these builds are is in fact the software. Yes. Now this software, this build, after you download it from the Magic Lantern official site, this build, you will, because it is archived, it is zipped, you will unzip, decompress, and those files you will stock into the SD card. Afterwards, so this is just in big, but I want you to understand how, in fact, Magic Lantern works on the Canon EosM. So this card, having this software, the Magic Lantern, you are introducing here in the Canon EosM. Then what you have to do in order to have the Magic Lantern on the Canon EosM, you have to open up the Canon EosM on the photo mode, right? And when you are opening in the photo mode, I have already in it, but it's not a problem. You have to go to the firmware update. Let me just see, where is it? Here. The firmware update, right? And what you have to do is update the camera firmware. Now, when you are doing the updating, so when you are updating the camera's firmware, in fact, the Canon software, the camera's proprietary software, will have will make the connection with the Magic Lantern, or Magic Lantern will make the connection with Canon proprietary software, meaning that there are some ports, if you want. Those ports will start to work together. So what we have learned here is that in fact the Magic Lantern will never be installed on the Canon EosM. So inside, because the Canon EosM will remain always with the Canon proprietary software. How and why do I say that? Is because, for example, let me just show you. So I just put it back on the video mode and I'm opening Canon EosM, and you see it's Magic Lantern who appears. But if I'm going, for example, on the info, now this is from the Canon proprietary software. So now when I'm changing, for example, the ISO, this one, or I don't know, this is the lens aperture, or for example, what can we do? So everything what I'm doing here, you see here, I can enter even in the menu. There you can see just a little bit, right? That's the Canon software. So the Canon software is always remains inside of the Canon camera. It's just when you have the SD card, it's when the Magic Lantern takes over the control of the Canon EosM and allows us to use the Magic Lantern. So the priority of the softwares, Magic Lantern became the first, and then the Canon's proprietary software becomes a second. But it's a symbiosis between them. Now, what that means is that when I take out, let me just close it. So when I take out the SD card, when I take out the SD card, where I have the Magic Lantern, where the Magic Lantern will not work anymore. No card. And if there's no card inside, then I have what I have. I have the Canon proprietary software that is there. Because the camera doesn't find, or the firmware doesn't find anymore the SD card, well, it just remains the secondary software, which now becomes the primary software, the Canon EosM proprietary software. Now, if I'm turning off, and now I will put inside the SD card with the Magic Lantern, when I'm opening the it will. Now I have Magic Lantern, because Magic Lantern has become the primary software and the Canon proprietary software the secondary one. Now if you understand this, then normally you should understand that how important is to have a really good SD card. I mean, the writing and the reading speed of the SD card is the most important thing to have a very good experience with a Magic Lantern. Because if the writing and reading speed of the SD card is very slow, then obviously Magic Lantern performance will be very, very bad. This is why many times you will not be able to use, for example, presets that demands a higher writing speed. For example, using the 5.2K 14 bits raw recording, the files are bigger than the 2.5K or the, I don't know, the 1080p files. So obviously, when you want to access the preset with a 5.2K 14 bits raw recording and you start to record, well, you will not be able to record it. Why? Because the SD card, it's not of a good quality. And I'm speaking of experience because I had this issue myself. First, when I bought the Canon EosM, and I just had a normal SD card. I tried to do the installation of the Magic Lantern. I succeeded to install, meaning to make the connection of Magic Lantern on the Canon EosM. But then when I started to record, I couldn't. Then I bought, and I'm recommending, the SanDisk Extreme Pro, because my first Extreme Pro, it was of a 200 megabytes per second, up to 200 megabytes per second SD card, and it was working. I could record, but still I couldn't record up to the highest resolution. I started to be able to record very easily with the highest resolution and long periods of time footages. Buying this one, this is the 300 megabytes per second from SanDisk Extreme Pro SD card. So I really recommend. I know what is really a little bit annoying is that this SanDisk SD card has the price of the camera, but it's really a must to have a very good, fast reading and writing speed SD card. So I hope now it's clear why it is important to have an SD card with a very high writing and reading speed. Because in fact, the SD card is used, one, to use the Magic Lantern software. So this software is working from the SD card, and then plus the SD card is used also to record, so stock the raw footages. So it is double used, and this is why high speed SD card, it is a must. It is something that you should really understand, and you have to invest in it. Because if you do not have a high writing and reading speed SD card, then unfortunately you will have a lot of expectations from Magic Lantern, and in fact, many of the things that you would like to work, it will not work. And it will be because of the SD card. I have the link in the description box below to the SD card that I'm using. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so and hit the thumbs up button, and please share this video so anybody who is interested to try out the Canon EosM with the Magic Lantern from the beginning will understand that and his experience will be a better one than maybe mine, meaning that from the beginning, having high writing and reading speed SD card, it will work flawlessly, the Magic Lantern with the Canon EosM. So I hope my explanation was clear enough, and now you understand how this symbiosis with the Canon EosM and the Magic Lantern is working. Now I hope you understand why somebody can have a different performance than you have, because there's the SD card, and if you do not invest in SD card, then the performance of your Canon EosM with the Magic Lantern will be not the same like with somebody who bought the SD card which has a high write and read speed. And this is important because from now on, you know that you have to invest in a very good SD card in order to use the high resolution presets like the 5.2 or the 4.5K and be able to shoot without any concerns in 14 bits. If it's your first time, or even if it's not your first time, but you are not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel and hit the thumbs up. Thank you, and see you in the next episode.